Hi, it has been a very long time no see. I have been busy, we'll say. Yeah, I haven't been creating probably for the last 5 or 6 months, at least. I paused my Patreon for a bunch of months. I don't know if it was 6, it may have been 3 or 4. But in any case, I have just been very burnt out from art and creativity and general ennui. Whatever you want to call it. It's, that kind of stuff. But January, February, and March, I tend to have a lot more time on my hands. So I usually get excited about stuff again because I have time to do them, and that's sort of what I'm doing now. So hopefully, with this time, this free time that I can kind of hopefully get ahead of things, and some other things I've done, I can kind of get back into all of this stuff. One of the other issues is I don't make any money off of most of these things. Patreon I do make some money off of, but basically it pays for my other Patreon subscriptions. But so if something was going to be cut from my life while I needed to kind of get over some stress and burnout and things like that, this was the thing that got cut, because it takes time and I can't quit my job. So that's what happened. But I'm going to try and be back. Hopefully Marcia stops licking her feet. Disgusting. Marcia, my dear, my sweet girl, please don't. You're so gross. I don't know if you can see her, but there she is. Yeah. So, sort of just a quick update and a very, very short sort of semi-vlog thing, because I didn't do a whole lot of art stuff last year. I didn't do a lot of recording last year. I mostly did Patreon for the most part, and that was about it. But, in the meantime, some things I did last year that might be worth note. I did go to Ireland for a short vacation. We planned it in February of last year, and we went in October. So I had a really nice time there. I don't think I recorded much video, but I'll include some photos. Another way to kind of help me get through art block was I worked on a doodle journal while I was there. So I got an iPad late last year, used one, and then while I was there, I was drawing what was going on through the day, and I basically been going back through and trying to clean up all the doodles. I did them really, really quick at the end of the night, like a little journal of what was going on. And I'm hoping to, when I'm all done, I'm doing it in Procreate, so it's not going to be great quality, but that's okay. When I'm all done, my plan is to print it and then add it to my little, souvenirs. I like to keep paper souvenirs, like flyers and things we went to, receipts, stuff like that. And I wanted to make, a big framed thing with my doodles and then all the little bric-a-brac we brought back. That was fun. I was able to visit with a friend, Hollifer. I've known them digitally online for a long time, since I was in high school, back in DeviantArt days. So it was really nice to meet them in person and kind of spend some time with them and hang out. They were a very generous host and offered to drive us around a few places, which was really nice because we were still getting used to driving on the left side of the road, and on top of that, the narrowness of the roads compared to here was, at least for me in the passenger seat, being near, being near the edge of the road and the walls and stuff was a little unnerving. So it was nice to have somebody else that was used to it driving, just so I felt a little less anxious about it, which was nice. But on top of that, I did a lot of gardening last year, and we got our sheep. If you follow me on other social media places or on my Patreon as well, you've seen my sheep. I'll include some videos of them here and some pictures of them because I love them. They're so freaking cute. I got 4 Shetland sheep, 1 male and 3 females. So our male, though, is fixed, so he's not a ram. He's what's called a wether. So that means a castrated male sheep, mainly because him and the girls are all siblings, so even if I wanted babies, I don't want babies from them. And we got the sheep sort of as a test run on getting larger sized livestock outside of the birds, like chickens and things like that. So we wanted to see how much work they were without them being expected to produce anything for us. So they aren't for meat, they aren't for milk, they aren't for whatever at the moment. They won't be for meat ever, but they're not for providing us as their main purpose. Their main purpose is just to exist, be cute, and basically be yard puppies while we learn about the extra work load added onto our already existing workload in taking care of them. So we built our barn. We started that not last year, but the year before, finished it last year, brought in the sheep. They've been wonderful. I've really enjoyed having them. They haven't been too much extra work. I think sheep is an excellent livestock option for us. People ask why I don't get goats. It's because I don't like goats that much. I don't dislike goats on an individual basis, but as a farming concept, I don't love goats. They're hard to keep. They're destructive. They will get into anything. They'll eat anything. They'll climb anything. They'll chew through bolts. Like, they just weren't up my alley. I wanted something that was a lot easier to care for and a lot easier to contain. So we went with sheep. Also, I've always loved sheep, so they're sweet. And we got Shetlands. We should be able to shear them twice a year, according to the person we got them from. So they were sheared in the fall, and we'll be shearing them again in the spring. And they make excellent fiber, so I gave those fleeces away to friends and folks I knew that... Sorry, she's scratching her chin. Folks I knew that worked in fiber arts and would be handy. So the sheep were a big addition last year. We also added ducks. We had them, I think, the year before, but since everybody's in the barn now, the ducks are a little more accessible now. So they're hanging out. They're doing pretty good. So we got the sheep. We went to Ireland. The ducks are good. Our barn is built. I don't remember much of what else we did last year other than the normal things that we do every year. But yeah, the garden did great. I have lots of plans for the garden this year. I got a new chicken incubator, or egg incubator, for Christmas from my in-laws. So I am very excited to hatch out some new babies this year. So I'll try and get some footage from that when I do get those eggs. I'm going to try and order some new breeds from somebody different so that, again, if my birds are into breeding, I'm not having too much... line breeding where that's like parents, brothers, sisters, same family breeding down the line. Birds, you can get away with it a bit, but ideally don't, because it just creates stronger birds. So yeah, I'd like to hatch some eggs this year. And the only other things I did last year, oh yes, so I did a short ceramics course. It was like a 6-week hand building and wheel throwing. I have my hand-built mug here. It's got a sheep on it. She's wonky. The handle's taller than the mouth. I still love her. I built some other things that I really enjoyed. I made the mug that I liked the best that I threw on the wheel. I still have to wrap my head around the shrinkage on top of everything else, so it's very small. It's like an espresso mug, but I still like it. So I'm going to do that again. I think that helped a lot with me getting out of my artistic burnout, or at least getting closer to being able to like draw more joyfully and consistently. So I'm doing another wheel throwing course in another month or so that I'm really excited for. I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. Ceramics is very, especially wheel throwing, is very like meditative, I guess, because you're sort of focusing on the task. A lot of what I really enjoyed about painting for a long time was this like focusing on the task, but like having some innate ability, and I mean as I go on that'll change how that works, but just sort of having something that you focus on but isn't like a rumination or a spiraling, or you know what I mean, like you're focusing but it's using the good parts of your brain to focus, sort of like having a task that is active but involves a lot of different parts of you. I really hope that made sense. I really enjoyed it. My friend that I went with, my bestie, she loved it. So she's doing her second course right now. I couldn't get into this class because there was too many people who signed up, so I'm in the next one. But very excited. Gonna do that again. And I'm also planning on, I'm doing a knitting class with my mother this month, at the end of the month. That'll be another like 6-week, once a week class. I think it actually might be 7 weeks. Might be 7 classes. In any case, because I'd like to learn how to knit. Now that I have sheep, I can eventually start using their wool to make things for myself. In any case, that's about all I've got for now. It's January. It's cold out. The weather has not been normal for this time of year, though, which is unsettling, but it is what it is. Hopefully get through it. And today I streamed while I worked on my Patreon rewards. This year's theme for the Patreon rewards, because I try to do a theme every year, I decided to kind of give myself a low ball, is just cryptids around the world. So they're going to have already they're already gonna have descriptions, things like that. I'm basically just creating what already exists, as opposed to trying to completely come up with something new. Or like, you know, doing the creature creation like I was trying to last year, which if I wasn't getting 2 creatures I wanted to put together, I wasn't having fun, it was getting hard, I wasn't enjoying my results, and that was all feeding into that burnout. So I think this year giving myself a structured thing to work on means that I can kind of play with the form instead and get back into it a little more gently. So this month's rewards will be based around the Niker. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I have no idea if am or not, but it's an Icelandic water horse based cryptid, similar to a Kelpie in that it tricks people into riding it and then drowns them. It's got some interesting features like backwards facing hooves. Although some of the descriptions said it was backwards hooves, some people just said that the feathers that were normally on the back of the hooves were on the front. I saw one thing that described the sound of, like, I know what the sound is at night when the ice shifts and cracks and you can hear like the sound moving in the water underneath. That was described as the Niker neighing. Again, I only found a couple articles about this. I was basically just looking up like wintry cryptids or monsters, whatever, and found a couple people writing about it. So it may be entirely made up. It may be from somebody's random book that they just threw it in there. But it was really fun and I wanted to try it, so I think that'd be a fun one to do. It looks like it's also in a few other mythologies from what I could find, so it may be sort of like a cross multiple cultures one. But it seemed really neat, so I'm doing a painting of that and I'll do that on the stickers sheet as well. Normal thing, hand embellished print, sticker sheet. I painted that today. I'm doing things a little differently than I normally would, and at the moment I'm looking at it because it's taped to the table drying right now. Don't love it. Don't love it, but we'll see how it turns out. I can always scan it, do some adjusting to it, or just start again if I have to, but I have a good idea for what I want for the print, so if nothing else, I can make it happen at some point. It'll happen. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's it. Oh, one more thing. The other thing for this year, I made a fun little sketchbook for myself. So I took my old workbook from the Miggea Moss Rico collaboration. So it was like your gouache workbook, and I took all the pages and I toned them. So I did one for each month, and I just toned them in a different color for each of them. So, and I tried picking, like, because all the stuff that's already on there is what was printed in the book for you to practice on. So I tried doing some theming them with like what the month would be in case they peeked through. And then I thought I would just use it as like a little painting journal. I made everything just 25 squares. And I've got some more footage of that, obviously. But I figured that way, if I didn't have time to do something every day of the month, I still could skip a day or do a couple in a row. But I didn't want it to be super specific. I just wanted to pick something either that stood out from the day or felt like it was fun to paint from the day and put that in. So it's not even like I'll look back, I'll have no idea what half of this is. I'm okay with that. I think it's just a fun project. And then, yeah, I covered the front and stickers as per usual. So that's sort of a me project thing. I'll probably share it here and there in like vlogs or to my Patreon specifically so they can see how that's going. But it's mostly going to be for me. So there's not going to be a lot of updates on that. So that's it so far. I hope to do better this year with creating stuff for people to see. Editing takes time and is, quite frankly, very boring. So I may fall off this again. But I'm hoping to continue to create stuff so that I can have early access for my patrons as like a digital reward, as well as, you know, all the other fun stuff. I'm looking across at my audio recording and I'm so worried that I dorked it up. So if this sounds absolutely awful, I'm very sorry. It's my own fault. So I'll try my best to keep up with this and be creating videos to give my patrons early access and sort of have some more fun stuff to see and do and whatever. I do hope to go to Iceland this fall. If I don't end up getting to go because of financial reasons, whatever, I still plan on doing some like short trips around where I live, so I'll be able to share that too, to kind of stretch vlogs out since I'm not doing as much art. But expect to see things about like the ceramics and the knitting in vlogs versus like art videos like I do for everything else. I'm pretty sure I covered everything for the year. I'm doing my best to create again, to kind of keep my levels of like hope up and joy up and community up, so that I am able to put more of myself into work for social support and things like that. Work on building community, work on taking care of yourselves, do what you gotta do, and do what you can in your community to kind of help out if you can. I'm currently working with some others to organize a Palestine art night, so, you know, find your interests, see if there's ways that you can help the community with your interests. Whether it's your local community, you know, with trans rights, or, you know, working towards eliminating police brutality, helping the homeless, things like that, or whether it's abroad for things like Palestine, the Democratic Republic of Congo, things like that. Do what you can. Alright, that's all I've got for today. Hopefully this vlog isn't too long and isn't too weird, and has something interesting in it, and I hope that you stick around for more art videos and more vlog content, which will cover things like my ceramics, playing with those, knitting, going on trips, gardening, the sheep, all the other stuff will be in those. And a little bit of art too. Alright, have a great day. See you later. Bye!